Good evening, everyone. My name is Zoran Milicic, and I'm a kinesiologist. And in today's series of mind-body connection, I'm going to talk about lung diseases and also cardiovascular and adrenal distress. So our main focus of this presentation will be on the appearance of lung issues or lung diseases, and particularly the one that is called emphysema. Emphysema is the main symptom of emphysema is shortness of breath, but what actually happens on a deep level in our lungs, our air sacs called alveoli, they become damaged, and our ability to absorb oxygen into the bloodstream diminishes as disease progresses. Another parameter that actually that is linked to this is linked to blood chemistry, and particularly red blood cells. So the total count of red blood cells increases or elevates in that case. So why is this happening, and what's at the root of this issue? We need to discover this, and we need to do something about it. So when we find the problem, it is always good to look for the solution. Our body is infinitely intelligent, and it has provided many energy and correction points which are available all over the body, and we can access them without going into the body. So when we have a look how this is all fitting together in terms of energy flow, it'll be more clear to us, and then we will offer some solutions or correction points for everyone to use and try this wonderful technique. Kinesiology uses the knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine. The main work is based on the flow of qi energy through meridian system, or there are channels of energy which feed every single organ or cell in our body. They are responsible for our health and all physiological processes and amazing things that our body does. So really, our body is an amazing thing. So surely there is a way for us to look after it. So in terms of flow of energy, we're looking at the balanced state and then the appearance of compensation, which leads into the imbalanced state. So I'll just share my screen for you to show you how it actually looks and what we can do about it. Okay, this is the law of 5 elements. It is basically many thousands of years old, and it actually describes the flow of qi energy through elements, and within the elements through major meridians. As you can see, each element has a different color. It is positioned differently depending on the meridians that is looking after, and as you can notice, the energy flow is basically in clockwise mode. So the energy is flowing clockwise. So we have a number of exchanges of energy. One is a feeding cycle, which means that one element or the major colored circle gives or passes the energy onto the next one in clockwise motion. Then we have this star in the middle, which is the controlling cycle of energy. So as one energy feeds, the other one controls. And then within each of these elements, we have exchange of energy between Yin and Yang meridians. So just for everybody's knowledge, Yin meridians, they are linked to organs which work all the time, whereas Yang meridians are linked to organs which work as per need. So it is important to emphasize that every single meridian is very important. There's no difference between them. Yin and Yang describes only the function of that organ and basically its position in this energy flow. So if you're looking at this state, this is the balanced state. So there are no blockages of energy, energy flows in all directions, and everything is basically fine. Now, linking to, second. Okay, now linking this to the imbalanced state, and particularly for this evening's topic, we'll be looking at something like this. The plus here represents the excess of energy, which usually creates inflammation in the body. And the minus represents lack of energy, which produces lack of function or degenerative process in our body. So we start here at the main blockage that is causing the whole disturbance, and that is at the spleen pancreas meridian here in the yellow circle. So this meridian here is spleen pancreas. It is Yin meridian, and spleen generally looks after our immunity system. It stores some spare blood cells. It looks after our immune cells called T or beta lymphocytes. And basically it maintains our immunity. So once when the energy is blocked in this meridian, it actually throws this organ out of balance. But then, because energy flows in clockwise motion, energy can't pass this meridian, and then it's being sent back to circulation sex meridian. So circulation sex meridian is a meridian that looks after all blood vessels, lymph vessels, the chemistry of our blood, and also it maintains systolic blood pressure, as well as all our reproductive organs. So this is also yin organs. So excess of energy will definitely mean disturbance in the blood chemistry. And in this particular case, this combination of interaction between these two meridians will actually increase the total count of red blood cells or erythrocytes in our blood. Red blood cells are hemoglobin carrying cells, although they don't have the nucleus, so they can't really be called cells, but effectively they are cells, and their job really is to transport oxygen from our lungs to every single cell in our body. So literally circulation sex meridian is spread throughout all our body, and it's actually connecting every single cell. Above circulation sex meridian is triple Wolman meridian, which looks after our thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, and adrenal glands. Next to circulation sex meridian is heart, which basically we know what it's all about. It is our blood pump, and it controls the blood, and it excretes some hormones. It controls blood pressure and so on, and it exchanges the energy with small intestine, right? So basically, as you can see, as the energy is blocked in spleen pancreas meridian, it is backing up, and it's creating excess on these four meridians, which then can behave in such a way that they cause inflammation of the tissue. So, but what is after spleen pancreas meridian in the flow of energy clockwise? It is the metal element, and the main two meridians are lung and large intestine. So the lung meridian here is not really receiving any energy from spleen pancreas. Therefore, it is being deprived of chi energy, and then this is how the tissue actually behaves. So lung meridian goes into what we call a shutdown. So, and then the degenerative processes start. So we can say that lung is suffering lack of energy, spleen pancreas is lack of energy, which is the main blockage. And then the main point here is that that energy or chi energy that was supposed to flow through spleen is backing up and creating inflammatory processes on these four meridians here. So when you look at the cardiovascular issues, and particularly the ones that circulation sex meridian is responsible for, we're looking at the veins and arteries, and looking at the blood pressure, systolic, whereas heart maintains diastolic blood pressure. So this situation will definitely cause a person to have elevated blood pressure, and maybe appearance of inflammatory processes within the veins and arteries, which can actually lead to varicose veins. Now, in terms of digestive problem, small intestine and here stomach, they both have excess of energy, so we will have some inflammatory process on the stomach lining or small intestine lining, maybe appearance of ulcers, disturbance in digestion, allergies, leaky gut syndrome, all these things. And on the triple warmer side, we may have elevated stress hormones due to adrenal glands working harder, thyroid gland as well, and then that may lead eventually into what we call a burnout syndrome. So this is basically the situation how it would appear, and this is how all organs would be linked. One thing that is important here to understand is that the total of energy is always the same, but being distributed wrongly in all meridians, it will cause problems on the tissue level. Now, if you look at the Triad of Health, we mention our physical body and the issue with emphysema, respiratory distress, which can basically show itself in many lung problems, adrenal distress, which in today's modern world, the most common syndrome is the burnout syndrome, and cardiovascular issues that I mentioned. Now, in terms of biochemistry, we have elevated count of erythrocytes, but also biochemistry deals with food and all other biochemical processes in the body. So the consumption of sugar-related foods, fast foods, and some stimulants and depressants, be it cigarettes, alcohol, abuse of drugs, and all these things, because as our adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol are elevated, they're being quickly used, and basically we're trying to lift them up to stay high, even though we are very tired. So this is the reason why we are trying to compensate that with that kind of food, because we know that sugar actually and all foods that are dissolved as sugar in our body, they actually increase the level of our stress hormones. Now, the main point here is in our mind, because I believe that this is where it all starts. So we are furious, we are angry, we are full of rage because things are not going our way. We fearing loss, and we feel disconnected. So that's basically the beginning of some disease process that I mentioned here. Now, in terms of our inclination towards life, or our attitudes towards life, we have continual over expenditure of energy, constant striving. So we are constantly trying to achieve something which may be out of our reach or out of our capabilities, but we are so driven that we don't know how to stop. We also suffer impatience. We can't wait for processes. We can't align our will with the will of the universe. And on-the-go mode of living. So this actually goes hand in hand with consumption of junk food and fast food and all that stuff, because there's just not enough time, and particularly time that we are devoting and giving to ourselves. So now that we know all this, we need to look at the positive outcome. So how do we remedy this? There are some certain points on our body, which I will show you, to hold, which will unblock the energy and shift the energy so that the flow of energy through meridians becomes normal and optimal, which will result in healthy tissue, healthy body. And we have to really support this process. But the positive outcome is actually predominantly here focused on our mind, okay? So we need to slow down and enjoy special qualities of each day. So in other words, it really is coming down to living in the present moment, okay? Attune to inner guidance, which is the source of confidence and inner peace. Okay, once when we have inner peace and we have confidence within selves, then we stop fearing what's to come, and we stop running away from adversities in our life. They're actually pretty much illusion because they're happening in the time. So once when we stabilize ourselves and focus on the present moment, then we can achieve this change of frequency or evolution or transformation of ourselves. So this is very important for burnout syndrome, because there's no real cure for it. You can try, many biochemical stuff, but it won't really do the job. The best thing for that is to do exactly this: slow down and enjoy special qualities of each day. Spend plenty of time in the nature, observe the nature, touch the nature. Ground yourself, walk barefoot on the grass or on the beach, meditate, spend quality time with your family and friends, especially with people who elevate you. People who are negative and who are bringing you down, better is to avoid them until they change. And make sure that you eat healthy food, which is basically plenty of green leafy vegetables, fruits, and salads, and so on. So it's a long process. It requires a complete change of lifestyle, and in this space, maybe it is good to consider changing the career, because a lot of these issues are linked to us not being happy with the career, but being impatient to explore or wait for some better opportunities to come up. Now, keeping that in mind, it is very important to actually be aware of this while we're doing these corrections. So first, I'm going to introduce you to very powerful points. They're called neurolymphatic points, and we have them at the front and the back of our body. So really, the point here is not to heal the symptom of the disease, but to balance the body. And when the body is balanced, the body will heal itself. So by shifting the energy from excess to lack, we are going to achieve this balance. Now, neurolymphatic points are very powerful points, and their job is to balance the meridians through lymph and organ connection. So here at the front, you see in intercostal on the left-hand side, underneath your left breast, intercostal 5-6. There are special points here. It's a lymphatic area full of lymph nodes, and it's good to massage these points for about 2 minutes every day. And then at the back of the body, approximately at the same position, ribs 5-6, very close to the spine. There's only one point, so it is good to massage this for 2 minutes as well. So this will increase the lymph flow that is linked to spleen, pancreas, and the organ can actually drain quickly, and it will increase the energy of that meridian. On the circulation sex meridian, the front points are here at your pubic bone, right at the top of the pubic bone. Usually you'll find that these points are very painful, so don't go too much into the pain. So go slowly to the level of the pain, and then keep massaging at that level for about 2 minutes. And also at the back of your body, there are 2 prominent points here. They are called posterior SIS points. So they are like little knobs when you touch the lower back where your hips are. You'll find these 2 points. They are approximately at the level of your L5, SC, and S1 vertebra. And basically, with lymphatic points, it's very simple. You just keep massaging them. Be firm, but don't hurt yourself. Don't go too deep into the pain. Be gentle with them. You massage it with your thumb or 2 fingers of either hand, and basically do round movements, similar like acupressure massage. I suggest that you massage each of these points for about 2 minutes, and then drink a glass of water after them. Okay, so the next set of points, they're called neurovascular points. These points are not to be massaged. They are basically held lightly. So basically, it's enough that we place our hands on them. You can place a couple of fingers on them or just palms. You don't have to be that precise, as long as you cover this area. Best thing for this correction is to lie down on something flat, close your eyes, and then gently hold these points. And you will notice how the blood flow is increasing in that particular organ that has this point, and you'll definitely feel more energetic. So the yellow points here are related to spleen, pancreas, meridian. So here at the front, the points are really a little bit above ears and a little bit behind. Okay, so basically, if you just cover like this, Don't massage these points, just hold them lightly, close your eyes and breathe deeply and slowly as if you are meditating. And you can hold these points for about 2 minutes, or when you start feeling the pulse underneath, then you can let go. So same thing goes for this point right at the back. There's a prominent knob here at the top of the occiput bone at the back of your head. And once when you finish with the spleen pancreas points, you can then do these red ones. So they're only at the back here. They are approximately here, like so. Okay, so you just hold them really gently until you feel the pulse, or until you until 2 minutes is elapsed, one or the other. Okay. Well, once you finish with these points, again, drink a glass of water. Okay. And the last point, which is a very powerful point, is spleen number 6. Now, this point belongs to spleen meridian, but it is the only point which actually contains a cross between 3 meridians, 3 yin meridians, kidney, liver, and spleen, but the point belongs to spleen meridian. It's a very powerful point. One thing I need to mention first before I go any further: if you are pregnant, do not touch this point. Okay, so this point is forbidden if you are pregnant because it can cause contractions. But once when you go into labor, if you massage this point, you will actually increase contractions, and delivery will be smoother and quicker. So something to remember. But anyway, this acupuncture point, really what it does, it actually links spleen pancreas meridian and circulation sex meridian, and it will remove the blockages. So do it on both sides, left and right. Massage it. You will feel that this point is very painful. Don't go too much into the pain. You massage it as if it's an acupressure point, and do it for about a minute or two. And after you finish, drink a glass of water. So now, one thing that is very important while we're doing all these points, it is very important to set our mind first on things which are making us impatient, which are making us to be in on-the-go mode of living, constant striving, over expenditure of our energies, right? So these are the things in our life which are really contracting us, not expanding us. So think about those things. Most likely it's your career, your job. Then secondly, most probably your relationships with other people and yourself, and maybe your position in this world. So these are the things that usually cause all this. So it's good to think about the stressful aspect of it while we're massaging these points, because we will help our body to shift more energy and heal itself. Once when you finish with this, contemplate on the positive outcome, that we enjoy special qualities of each day, that we live in the present moment, and that we find the confidence within ourselves and inner peace. So we don't need to strive for things to achieve the peace. We can do this right away. Okay. So I always say that once we are in balance and in balanced state, we can always perform better. We can manifest different reality, and we can create better world, not only for ourselves, but for other people. Because in the end, as we heal, our community heals, our mankind heals, and our world heals. So by healing yourself, you're really healing this world. And this is basically the best thing you can do. So this is it for this presentation. Next Sunday, I will do another one, and I will cover different subjects. So keep watching this channel. and I will try to always bring something that is current in today's world, that things that are bothering people, and something that we can do and offer as a solution or healing. So if you like this, please write your questions in comments below this video. I will be more than happy to answer. And I wish you all the best and good health, and sending you lots of love. Bye for now.